The bitter Siberian wind cut through my jacket as I trudged through the thick blanket of snow, my breath forming a frosty mist in the air. I was on a mission to uncover the truth behind the mysterious disappearances of loggers in the remote forests of Siberia. My name is Alexei Ivanov, an investigative journalist with a penchant for the unexplained, and I was about to dive into a story that would haunt my nightmares for years to come. It all began with a series of reports detailing the sudden and inexplicable disappearance of several logging crews. Men who had spent their lives navigating the unforgiving Siberian wilderness were vanishing without a trace. The official statements spoke of accidents and wild animal attacks, but the locals whispered of something far more sinister lurking in the heart of the forest. As I arrived in the small, snow-covered town that served as the gateway to the Siberian wilderness, the air hung heavy with an ominous stillness. The locals eyed me with a mixture of suspicion and fear, unwilling to speak openly about the horrors that haunted their community. Determined to unravel the mystery, I sought out an old woodsman named Mikhail, rumored to possess knowledge about the cursed forest. Mikhail's shack stood on the outskirts of the town, surrounded by a fence made from the gnarled branches of ancient trees. The wind howled as I knocked on the door, and the creaking hinges seemed to echo the desolation of the Siberian landscape. Mikhail, a weathered man with a long white beard, greeted me with weary eyes that spoke of a lifetime spent battling the elements. "Come in, journalist. I have been expecting you," he said in a low, gravelly voice. As we sat by the crackling fire, Mikhail began recounting tales of the forest's dark secrets. He spoke of an ancient legend that told of vengeful spirits protecting the heart of the Siberian wilderness. According to the legend, those who dared to exploit the forest for personal gain would vanish without a trace, claimed by the malevolent forces that dwelled within the trees. Intrigued yet skeptical, I pressed Mikhail for more concrete information. He hesitated, his gaze fixed on the dancing flames, before finally revealing that he had stumbled upon a hidden journal belonging to one of the missing loggers. The journal contained the ramblings of a man driven to the brink of madness by an otherworldly terror. Armed with this newfound information, I set out into the heart of the Siberian forest, guided only by the cryptic notes left behind by the vanished logger. The trees stood like silent sentinels, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers towards the icy sky. The air itself seemed to vibrate with an eerie energy, and the oppressive silence was broken only by the crunch of snow beneath my boots. As I delved deeper into the forest, a sense of foreboding crept over me. I felt eyes watching my every move, unseen entities lurking in the shadows. The temperature plummeted, and the world around me transformed into a surreal nightmare. Strange shapes flitted at the edge of my vision, and the wind carried whispers that seemed to speak directly to the recesses of my mind. Days blurred into nights as I ventured further into the heart of the Siberian wilderness. Each step felt like a descent into madness, the line between reality and the supernatural becoming increasingly blurred. I discovered the remnants of the logging camps, abandoned and frozen in time. Torn tents and scattered tools told a story of chaos and fear. Then, in the dead of night, I stumbled upon a clearing bathed in an otherworldly glow. In the center stood a towering tree, its branches twisted into grotesque shapes. The air hummed with an unnatural energy, and a chorus of spectral whispers filled the frigid air. As I approached, the whispers coalesced into desperate pleas for release, voices of the lost loggers trapped between worlds. In the twisted roots of the ancient tree, I found a skeletal hand protruding from the frozen earth. Horror gripped me as I realized that the tree itself was a manifestation of the vengeful spirits, feeding on the souls of those who had dared to exploit the sacred land. The journal's final entry echoed in my mind, a plea for someone, anyone, to uncover the truth behind the disappearances. In a desperate bid to break the curse, I gathered the remains of the lost loggers and performed a makeshift burial ceremony. The wind howled in protest, and the temperature plummeted even further. Yet, as the last shovel of snow covered the makeshift graves, the unearthly glow faded, and the malevolent energy that hung in the air dissipated. The forest fell silent, as if the very earth itself exhaled a sigh of relief. I stumbled out of the cursed woods, haunted by the faces of the lost loggers and the supernatural horrors that lurked within the Siberian wilderness. The town greeted me with the same wary eyes, but this time, a collective sense of gratitude lingered beneath the surface. As I left Siberia behind, the memory of that accursed forest remained etched in my mind. The disappearance of the loggers was not a mere series of accidents. It was a testament to the ancient forces that guarded the heart of the Siberian wilderness. The world may never know the true horrors that lurk in the shadows, but the spirits of the lost loggers can finally rest in peace. Their story told through the pen of an investigative journalist who dared to uncover the truth.